I had been working at the firm for 5 years, climbing the ladder slowly but surely. The promotion I had been eyeing for months was finally within reach. Late nights, endless meetings, and sheer determination had paid off, or so I thought. One afternoon, I was called into Mr. Collins' office. He was the CEO, a man of power and influence who carried an air of authority. He wasn't exactly intimidating, but there was something about the way he looked at me that made me feel like I was always on edge. "Take a seat," he said, his voice smooth yet commanding. I sat down, feeling the tension rise in the room. He leaned back in his chair, folding his hands in front of him, his eyes locked on mine. "You've done a remarkable job here," he began, his gaze lingering a little too long. "There's no question you're the top candidate for the promotion." My heart raced. This was it, the moment I had been waiting for. But, he paused, a sly smile spreading across his face. "There's one thing I want in return." I frowned, confused. "What do you mean?" Mr. Collins stood up and walked around his desk, coming to stand just in front of me. He leaned down, his voice dropping to a whisper. "A kiss." My breath caught in my throat. A kiss? Was he serious? This wasn't happening. It couldn't be. I had worked too hard to let something like this derail everything. I stared up at him, my mind racing. He wasn't backing down, his eyes filled with a mix of desire and challenge. The air between us felt charged, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. "One kiss," he repeated, his voice low and sultry, "and the promotion is yours." Chapter 2, The Decision. I stood up, my mind spinning. This wasn't the first time I'd heard about people getting ahead by giving in to such requests, but I had never imagined it would happen to me. Part of me was furious, how dare he suggest such a thing? But another part of me, the one that had been drawn to him in secret, wondered what it would be like. He was an attractive man, powerful, and there had always been an unspoken chemistry between us, even if I hadn't acknowledged it until now. I could feel his eyes on me, waiting for my response. My pulse quickened as I thought about the promotion, the recognition I deserved. Could I do it? Could I give him what he wanted? "You're serious?" I asked, my voice shaky. "Completely," he replied, his expression unwavering. "Just one kiss, and I'll sign the papers." I hesitated, the weight of the decision pressing down on me. This was wrong, I knew that, but there was a thrill in the air, a dangerous game we were about to play, and I found myself unable to resist the temptation. I stepped closer, my heart pounding in my chest. His lips curled into a small smile, and before I could think twice, I leaned in and pressed my lips to his. The kiss was soft at first, almost innocent, but it quickly deepened. His hands found my waist, pulling me closer, and I felt the heat between us ignite. My head spun as I lost myself in the moment, the power dynamics between us only making it more intense. Chapter 3, One night, after the kiss, I pulled back, breathless. I had expected him to end it there, but the look in his eyes told me he wanted more, much more. "Stay," he whispered, his voice husky with desire, "just for tonight." My mind was a whirlwind of emotions. I knew I should walk away, but the magnetic pull between us was impossible to ignore. There was something thrilling about crossing that line, something forbidden yet incredibly tempting. I hesitated for only a moment before I nodded. "Okay." Before I knew it, we were in his private office lounge, the world outside forgotten. He took control, his hands roaming over my body with a kind of urgency I hadn't experienced before. The air between us was thick with desire, and I gave in completely. His lips were on mine again, more passionate this time, his hands expertly guiding me as he led me to the couch. We fell onto it, our bodies entwined as the tension that had been building between us for months finally exploded. The feel of his skin against mine, the way he touched me, it was overwhelming, intoxicating. As the night went on, we lost ourselves in each other, our connection growing more intense with every passing moment. It was a night of raw passion, one that neither of us could have predicted. He was commanding yet tender, and I found myself wanting him in ways I hadn't anticipated. Chapter 4, The Aftermath. When the sun rose the next morning, I woke up tangled in his sheets, my mind still foggy from the night before. Reality began to sink in. What had I done? This wasn't just a fling, it was my boss, my career. How would we move forward from this? I dressed quietly, not wanting to wake him, But as I reached for the door, his voice stopped me. "Where are you going?" he asked, his tone surprisingly soft. I don't know," I admitted, turning to face him. "What happens now?" He got out of bed and walked over to me, his expression unreadable. "The promotion is yours," he said, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear. "But last night, it doesn't have to end here." I looked up at him, torn. Part of me wanted to walk away, to pretend like this never happened. But another part of me, the part that had felt so alive in his arms, wanted more. I knew this was dangerous, that I was playing with fire, but I couldn't help myself. "Let's see where this goes," he said, his voice low and full of promise. "No strings attached, just you and me, whenever we want." It was an offer I never expected, and as I looked into his eyes, I realized that I wasn't ready to walk away just yet. Epilogue: the new normal. The promotion was mine, and with it came more responsibility and more power. But behind closed doors, my relationship with Mr. Collins continued. We kept it secret, our connection growing stronger with every stolen moment we shared. It was risky, dangerous, but the thrill of it made it all the more intoxicating. Our nights together were filled with passion, but our days at the office remained professional, at least on the surface. There were knowing glances, hidden smiles, and the unspoken tension that lingered between us. I knew it couldn't last forever, but for now, I was willing to ride the wave. After all, in life and love, sometimes the most unexpected moments are the ones that change everything. The end.